Sportsfeld. We're 2 weeks away from Christmas.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's definitely the middle of December all of a sudden.
It really is. December crawling along here.
It is. It really also, it like snuck up on me, but also like I've been very aware, obviously, that it's almost Christmas, but then it's also like, oh, it's the 11th.
It is both snuck up and crawled along.
Is it brighter in here than usual?
It's hard to say.
Dylan, is it brighter in here than usual?
It does feel that way.
Huh. It's not a complaint, just an observation.
You do look very visible.
Yeah, you too.
Good. That's good. And people who are not watching and who are listening will say,
we'll not notice anything.
Doesn't help me at all, they're going to say.
No.
Which is fine.
I mean, it's either this or I talk about the weather again, so.
Yeah, I was actually waiting. It stopped snowing, but now it's very cold.
Yeah.
It was mild there for a little bit.
I got annoyed. It looked nice today, but it
not.
ended up being very cold.
It is not. Yesterday was a real snot freezer as well.
Yeah. Snot freezer. I like that.
Yeah, that's old school family definition of a really cold day.
Yeah, it's good.
Anyway, Kawhi Leonard's back in town.
Kawhi Leonard is back in
It's
town.
just in time for it to be freezing cold out.
Well, that's good. We can show him all the reasons that he's probably happy that he left.
He comes at a time when the Raptors have
A narrative, let's say.
Yeah, the narrative's here. Finally.
Let's call it a narrative.
We sort of run through a bunch of them. I think this is probably the third narrative of the year, right? We came out of the gate and it was like, oh, they're still a contender for sure.
Yeah.
And then it was, oh, look, they have depth. Like, right? It was
the bench narrative.
Contender but thin, and then it was like, oh, now they have a ton of depth. Now they're really a contender.
Yes.
And now we are into third wave, which makes sense about mid 20 games.
We're really settling into like the old Raptors patterns, I think.
We're back.
Yeah.
And now it is that they are mids, if you will.
Yeah. They're a 4 or 5 seed looking at a second round out.
Which is sort of where we
were, yeah. Like
this is where we came in.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kyle Lowry is back, and it hasn't been pretty.
No.
Not his fault, but it just hasn't been pretty.
I mean, they're playing tough teams.
Chicago.
I mean, that was bad.
Losses to good teams.
Win is a win, though.
And then I want to say a 1 point escape against the Bulls.
Correct. But hey, got to win. Every team's an NBA team.
Not every game is going to be, Jordan Lloyd plays the whole fourth quarter.
Exactly.
And goes off for 20 points, and we're all at a bar laughing. And
yeah.
It's not all going to be there. But the story is that Kawhi is back in town.
Yes.
The board man
has gotten paid.
He is back with the Clippers.
Yeah. And when they lose, he might be back with us again. That's not happening.
Expecting an emotional night, Jake?
No. I feel like the emotions I think it'll be a nice reception, and there'll be some I don't know if you can call it nostalgic. It's only been 6 months.
Right.
But I think it'll be nice. I feel like the emotion side of it has kind of been taken care of because the is he gonna stay was so drawn out. I feel like the emotion's sort of done.
Billboards all over town. We're going to talk about that as well. It is winter meeting season.
Things are going great for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Things are going about exactly as expected, I would say.
It's good that
no surprises happened.
It's good
yet.
The division rival got the best player though.
No surprises happened yet. Yeah, we'll get into it a little later on, but the only prayer there was that an LA team take Cole. There was no third way that this was going to go.
So much flexibility though.
And it seemed that the Yankees they would have paid anything. They would have paid him $350 if he asked for it.
Yeah, I think so.
The Maple Leafs are playing still.
Yeah, they're fine.
Good again. It's another week. It's another good.
It's really hard to say more about them other than they're different than they were a week ago, but also exactly the same.
Yeah, maybe we let them breathe for a week.
Yeah,
I don't really have a take.
I think no, they won last night.
Get a very good goaltender.
Yeah.
They beat the Blues. How about that?
Yeah, that's nice. They won the
Two
cup.
Good wins.
They won the cup that I forgot about already.
That's right. As well, December means brewery time.
Hey.
Radical Road Brewery is our beer of the month. And a new week means a new beer. This week, we open up the fridge and we pull out another brew. It's Radical Road's Yuzu Pale Ale, which I get all the time.
I drank this on Friday.
Because that's the first 2 letters of my last name is ZU.
Hey, it's for you.
Zoo.
Nice.
Exactly right.
Always know it's a good one. I can hear Dylan laughing behind me.
That's twice a show I get that feeling. It makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
The Brew Pub and Retail Shop located in the heart of Leslieville, Queen and Jones. 7 days a week, 363 days a year. I love that because they don't tell me which 2 days it is. I'm guessing.
I'm going to guess Christmas and New Year's.
Christmas and New Year's? Yeah.
Yeah. Unless, no, it's
What else would it be?
It's almost certainly Christmas.
Canada
and
Day?
New Year's. No. Why would a brewery close on Canada Day? I feel like that's a big business day.
Thanksgiving?
Maybe. Probably not.
We'll call them. We will not call them. Today, a Hall of Fame worthy beer. As I said, the Yuzu Pale Ale, available at the LCBO. You've probably seen it many, many times. A green can, some yellow and orange on there. Some real
Color
packaging.
wheel.
You know, in case you're not sure what it looks like. It's rich hops, low bitterness, combined with Japanese yuzu fruit. It gives the pale ale spritzy tropical flavors. We will open. Ooh, I will say this.
Ooh, I got a little foam.
Before we go any further, tall boys this time. Just saying. It's a tall boy. This is not like, we're not sipping a 4%
I mean, it's only 5.
Coke can. Right, but like some of the other breweries, there was like a Coke can.
Yeah.
And we were like, we shared it between 3 of us. Like we're pounding a tall boy here at noon.
Yep.
On a Wednesday.
Yep.
Wow. Anyway.
I don't know. It's delicious.
It really is. Spritzy tropical flavors is a great way to put it.
I want to try a yuzu fruit now. Every time I have a beer that's made with yuzu, I'm like, that's very tasty.
Yes, I know we're supposed to like describe the beer, and I sort of forgot because I drink it all the time.
Yeah.
I know what it tastes like.
It's true. Yeah, you're right. It's fruity, light, easy drinking.
Spritzy tropical flavors.
Spritzy tropical flavors.
Once again, that brew pub retail shop, Queen and Jones. Head to radicalroadbrew.com for more information. Ask them which 2 days they're closed.
Yeah, someone let us know. Someone do that for us, and then let us know because we're curious.
Thank you to Radical Road for being beer of the month.
And for being open.
And for supporting Sportsfeld and for being open all but 2 days of the year.
Yeah. Whatever those 2 days may be.
Do you think, before we go on,
Yeah.
leap year, do you think they 364? Probably, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
They're not closed on the 29th. That'd be absurd.
No, and like what the 29th, it's not a holiday.
Nobody observes the 29th of February.
Unless it's like we're one of those people who have a birthday on the 29th. Maybe.
I think that would be, anyway, I don't want to, I'm not even thinking about anything. I don't even know.
What do you do if your birthday's on the 29th? Do you celebrate on the 28th or on the 1st?
Yeah, I think you do that dumb thing where you're like, I'm 13 years old.
Well, no, other than that thing, which is stupid. But like when would you celebrate?
I think I would.
I'm inclined to say 28th.
I would probably do the 1st.
Interesting.
Which seems bullshit.
I feel like it has to be in the same month is my thing. That's why I'm inclined to 28th because then it's still in February.
Okay.
Those are my thoughts on this.
Anyway.
In the debates of our time.
Raptors, Clippers, or Raptors in general, really.
Yeah.
We talked about this last week a little bit. I believe it was Kyle had just come back and we were sitting here and we were saying we're not going to criticize Kyle Lowry.
No.
Because we are not in the business of doing that anymore.
No. We have learned our lesson. And by we, I mean you.
Absolutely correct. Hall of Famer, best rapper ever. Capital B, but we talked about this last week. I asked you sort of what your concern level was over the fact that they hadn't beaten, but all their losses were to very good playoff teams.
Yes.
I think they had just lost to the Heat.
Yes.
Or they were about to lose
to
the Heat.
They just lost the Heat.
Yes, right. God, with Jimmy Butler in overtime. And then they lost to
Philly.
Which
there's another one in there too.
Which I will say.
Oh, they lost to Houston as well.
Right. Which I will say, losing to Philly, you had to see coming.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't like as much as fun as it was to hold Joel Embiid to 0 points. Like if that playoff series is any indication, like they come back the second game,
especially in Philly,
100%.
Yeah, there was no chance.
No surprise there. So 3 losses in a row for the first time in a year plus.
Yeah, I believe. Yes, I saw something that if they had lost to Chicago, it would have been the first time they lost 4 games since LeBron.
Crazy. Yeah, pick your LeBron time that happened.
The last time it happened.
But what is your concern now, a week removed from only losing to bad teams, to have lost, only losing to good teams, to have lost 3 more games to good teams, and then struggled to beat the Bulls?
So I've been really hoping to refrain from saying this all season.
Here it comes.
I miss Kawhi.
Oh, well, I got good news for you. Good news and bad news.
With all the looking back on the year and him being back and the video retrospectives that have been out the last couple of days, man,
he was really good.
It was really fun.
He's really good.
It was really fun. Yeah, I'm still not the sky is falling with the Raptors. They've still won 8 of their last 11, and they're still 16-7, and we know they're a good team. It's a little concerning that they lose to good teams, yes, But again, then you look at the flip side and they beat Philly and smashed Utah 3 weeks ago.
Everyone seems to be smashing Utah lately.
That's true. I'm happy on that prediction that I was correct.
Yeah.
But
I went back and forth with Steve a little bit about Utah.
Yeah, they're not good.
I was like, I don't see why everyone loves Utah so much.
No, I don't know why everyone's all excited about Mike Conley all of a sudden.
He's left-handed.
Yeah, which fair, so am I. Yeah, I'm more concerned than I was a week ago, for sure. But also, like, other than the Philly game, which they were not good, I thought they were pretty good in the Houston game. And a lot of that game, I also think you can chalk up to sort of defensive experiments.
Right,
like
that was a crazy...
The weird James Harden experiment. Like, there was no way it was ever going to work, but I like the idea of, like, okay, let's make, like, the other guys beat us, which they did.
Nick Nurse is crazy for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an insane thing to do. But I also think that if you're going to experiment against a team like Houston like that, in December is the time to do it.
Right.
Like, we have a trade deadline and many months to go. So that one doesn't worry me so much. The Philly one worries me a little bit just because they got so beaten for the first three quarters of the game. The Heat we already talked about. Chicago doesn't worry me. Like, whatever. You're not going to beat every bad team by 40.
Right.
That's fine. I do think they're probably going to lose tonight.
Okay.
I'm not concerned with the Raptors as a whole. I am concerned with Pascal Siakam.
That was my next question with you, because we were effusive on this show, and deservedly so. His first 15 to 20 games was among the top.
He was fifth in MVP voting like a week ago.
So yeah, he was unquestionably a top 10 player, probably a top 6, 7, 5 player in the league.
Yep.
He struggled.
My concern with him is that
not struggled,
but for what we expect.
When you look to somebody as the 1A,
my concern is that defenses are starting to adjust. Like, I'm not if it's just a slump on his side, that's fine, because everyone goes through slumps. That's fine. If it's that defenses are starting to adjust and he doesn't know how to adjust to that yet, that's concerning.
Well, I mean, this is something that I think I'm not going to claim, I had this in my head the whole time, but it was always sort of lingering under the surface. Is last season's team, Siakam functioned as an excellent sort of, you siphon it through him when Kawhi is too swamped. It happened.
Yeah, or not playing.
Right. And now my only wonder is, who is that guy for Siakam, right? Who we obviously Kyle can still step up. Kyle still has he can still throw the fastball if he has to. And Fred has his things, but I'm not sure that there's a secondary guy.
Because that's when I trust consistently.
Right. This is where Norm Powell.
I feel like we have a collection of, it almost feels like there's a gap. Like, we have our 1A guy in Pascal, which I still think he is. Like, I don't think his recent struggles mean that all of a sudden the extension's not worth it and he's not like a potential superstar. But you have your 1A guy. Then it feels like we have 6 or 7 like 2A guys. No, not 2A, like 2C guys. Like Kyle, Fred, OG, Norm. All guys who on any given night could go for 23, but could also go for like 9.
Right. This feels similar to sort of the DeMar era, where like...
Yeah, a little bit.
DeMar gets us 30 or DeMar gets us 20 and it's trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It really does.
Yeah. It's an interesting team because they obviously have to defend first. And
they're going to win games on their defense alone. Like, that's just going to happen.
Because it sets up their transition, which is where Pascal is probably one of the best transition players in the league.
Yep.
They get transition threes. Kyle's pull up threes. The pull up from the trailer 3 from Mark or OG in transition when they're not. And I think that was part of the problem in the Chicago game, was the defense sort of lapsed there in the middle. It was just like, they were just like, yeah, we're better than Chicago. So it wasn't the high intensity that you come to expect from a game in, game out sort of situation. And when they're not getting turnovers and when they're not getting stops and they're not able to run it in transition, the shortcomings of the offense become a little more apparent.
Yeah.
And that is where Kawhi was the difference maker, right?
Because he could just show up and do whatever.
In the half court, all he has to do is dribble 2 times to the right and pull up at the free throw line. And that's 2 points.
Yes. I will say that I do think that it's not a coincidence that the struggles that the team has gone through coincided with OG not playing at the same level at the beginning of the year. I think if
Also, Fred's out, right?
Fred's out now, but that was the case. That was only the case for like the last 2 games. But I think that if OG is playing the level he did to start the season, then I think that a lot of the problems go away. Not necessarily because he's going to pour in 25 every night, because I don't think he's that kind of guy. But from like the defensive way, so what we were talking about how everything starts their defense. If OG is playing basically how he played against Chicago, and if he can get back to that level every night, I think that will take a lot of pressure off guys like Siakam or Kyle in transition because the defense will be so strong.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see that's actually what I'm curious the most about tonight. If OG is the one who draws Kawhi, or even if he draws Paul George.
I'm very excited about OG against Kawhi.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get that in LA.
That's right.
OG was hurt.
He was poked in the eye.
Yes.
Because Kawhi poked him in the eye. Right.
His giant fucking hands.
Yes. So I for some reason I feel like OG is sort of the key that turns the lock with this team. Even though he's obviously not like the guy.
Great turn of phrase.
Thank you.
That's great. That's a great point. And I think something that you haven't heard as strongly from a lot of places.
Which makes sense.
Absolutely correct.
I get why he's not.
Well, because Kyle takes everything, right? It lands on Kyle and Pascal, and such is life when you are
it's their job.
The 2 biggest guys of the team.
Yeah.
Pay-wise.
Their job is to take. It's what we were talking about with the Leafs last week, that like it should fall on people like Tavares because they're the captain.
2 big goals last night against the Canucks. Yeah. No, absolutely correct. It's going to be very interesting. They're in a very interesting time. I think now until let's say the end of January is sort of. I know that we scoffed at this earlier in the year. We sort of came out and said, "Well, I don't see why they would change anything, why they would do anything but build." But now, if you're at a point at end of January and all your losses are to good teams and all your wins are to not great teams, then you start to say, okay, what really is this? How deep do we really think this is going to go? Boy.
Sorry, I'm just looking at how many games they have.
Yeah, please.
Now till then.
Lay it in. Give me some of the key matchups.
So they're 60-7 right now.
Mm-hmm.
They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. God, they play a lot in December.
Yes, very truncated schedule because they had a lot of time off early in the year. They had the early the first month or so. They have
26 games from now till January 31st.
That is crazy.
So if they're 60-7 now, if they go 500, they're 13-13. They're 29-20. That's not good enough to buy.
Not good enough to push in, you say?
Yeah. If they go, 19 and...
What's the quality of opponent like over that stretch? Because
I
think 500 is... If they go 500, that's disappointing.
Yes, I agree.
Any extended period of 500 is disappointing.
And it's not great competition. The Clippers tonight...
Yes.
Then the next good team... I mean, if you want to call Detroit a good team, which I don't.
I do not. No.
So the next good team would be Dallas on the 22nd. Then they have a real tough stretch.
Boston on Christmas.
They have Dallas, Indiana, Boston, OKC. OKC, not really, but Dallas, Indiana, Boston.
They played
Christmas week.
They played 3 games in 4 days on Christmas week.
Yeah, 22nd, 23rd, 25th.
Oh, come on.
We've been yelling about it for fucking years.
I guess that's the game. Yeah,
that's the game. They get Miami to start January.
Yikes.
They get Portland at home.
Portland's a walk. No problem. Portland's not good.
Philly again, January 22nd. Yeah, they play.
So of the 20, you've given me 6 or 7.
Yes,
very tough opponents.
If they beat the teams they should win like 19 of those games.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
And if they do that,
yeah,
then they're 34 and like 18.
That stretch right there will define the season. I do not.
Yeah, because it's like Brooklyn, Cleveland, Detroit, Washington, Cleveland, Brooklyn, Charlotte, San Antonio, OKC, Washington, Minnie, Atlanta, New York, San Antonio, Atlanta, Cleveland, Detroit.
Those should all be dubs.
Yeah,
every single one of those should be a win.
So you're looking at Philly, Portland, Miami, Boston, Dallas, Indiana. If you want to,
Portland out of here.
Okay, so you're looking at 6. You're looking at 6 or 7 tough games.
Okay,
in 26.
So they go 20-6.
So if they go 20-6, they're 36-14. No, 36-13. That is good enough to push in.
Okay. Boy, that's fit. Now we're 50 games into the season.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 36-13 to start the season.
Yeah. I mean, that's gut check time.
They're currently on pace for 57 wins.
I feel good about. Remember I decided I picked 53.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's a high number. Blake said, and I said, when does Masai?
They're on pace for 57, which I believe is what they won last year.
When does Masai ever win less than 53 games? It just doesn't happen.
It's true. Speaking of, MLSE also shot down all the Knicks rumors today.
Yes, as they have had to do every couple days.
Which, like, of course,
sure.
There's no way Masai was going to the Knicks. Why would he ever want to go anywhere near James Dolan?
Here's the thing. Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like on at least James Dolan spends the money. You can at least give them that. Sure,
but MLSE does as well.
Right, but
MLSE just pushed in to get Kawhi Leonard for a year.
Totally, but like James Dolan gave like Pat Riley like $50 million.
Yeah. Oh,
pardon me, Phil Jackson.
I see what you're saying. Yes,
and they spend to the cap even with this terrible team.
Yes,
like
they just end up having to spend like $80 million on.
It's not Rodgers where they're like,
no, it's not
cheap and give us like James Dolan's willing to spend as much money as he possibly has to give those people the resources, and he's obviously a fucking goof, and he obviously says dumb shit in the media all the time.
Yeah,
but I feel like he didn't really meddle in the Phil Jackson years. He just hiring Phil Jackson was a fucking terrible idea.
Yeah, but I feel like he's meddled in everyone since.
Well, because nobody's done anything of any value.
Right. I don't know. I would not. I would.
It's a bad franchise. There's no.
I can't imagine Masai, who has power to do whatever he wants in Toronto, going to having to deal with an owner like James Dolan.
What if James Dolan promises not that same power?
I think that would be the. I don't trust someone like James Dolan to keep that promise.
It's hard to say.
And I think Masai is smart enough to recognize that.
What if Bobby Webster went to the Knicks instead?
That'd be interesting.
I have no. I couldn't have less sources. I'm just
no. But that would be interesting. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
but I think MLSE has recognized. I think the run last year has sort of made them be like, "This is our team."
Yeah, and Masai.
You just have to look across the street for,
of course,
lessons to the opposite.
Masai is. I've been thinking about. I thought about this.
Man, you can just feel the Blue Jays rage percolating under the surface.
Clearly,
of this segment.
It's gonna be. We'll deal with that in a second. But I was thinking about this. I think when we were doing our end of decade sort of look back about how rare of a thing having Masai is.
Oh yeah,
because like I can't think of another franchise in sports where fans are like, we love the president of our team.
Yeah, if anything, it's
like forget the GM.
It's usually
forget the owners.
Steve Ballmer, maybe, but he's not even the president. Is he? He's just the owner.
He's the owner. We love We love president of the Toronto Raptors.
There's probably a minute with Mark Cuban,
and like that, also the owner,
but also was also the president. I don't know if he still is.
True.
But it was.
Really interesting, and I think he relates.
You're right, though,
to the players in a way that no other team president I can think of does. With his
he's as much a celebrity as anyone on the team.
100%. 100%.
He was just named. Yeah.
If they didn't have Lowry, he'd be the most recognizable guy on the team.
Yeah, and I think you could make the argument that it's not like that far of a gap between him and Lowry.
Agreed. If he were to trade Lowry, most people would say, "Oh, that sucks," but we believe in you, Masai. Almost unquestionably.
Yes.
He could do just about anything, and I'd be like, "Yeah, that's about right."
Yeah. Well, we talked about this.
He did it.
We talked about this like last week. He hasn't really made a bad move yet.
I saw something crazy the other day.
Okay.
About Masai. And we'll I'll have this be one of the last time we talk about Raptors when we get to the break and stuff. He has been, as a GM, he has made, in 10 years, GM president yet.
In Toronto? Or in his career?
Full.
Okay.
Full stop. This includes...
So Denver.
Denver as well.
Okay.
Been on board for 11 first-round draft picks. 9 of them are NBA rotation players. That's ridiculous.
That's insane.
To hit at like 85% of that's and when we talk about the draft picks that Masai Ujiri takes, it's like 20 and above. It's other than Pirtle.
Yeah, Denver and Toronto's been a good team.
Other than Pirtle, it's almost entirely 20 plus selections. 9 of 11. That's unbelievable. Anyway, Masai.
And he's presided over trading 2 franchise players to 2 different teams.
And that is also not including undrafted guys.
Yes, which he builds the whole plane out of.
Every year you get an undrafted guy who is immediately a rotation guy.
It truly has taken all this like shine out of the NBA draft as a Raptors fan.
Fuck the draft.
It's just like, who cares?
The Celtics do drafts.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're playing pretty well. But anyway.
Fuck them.
Anyway, that's Raptors.
Hayward's coming back, so I'm going to fuck with their chemistry.
Speaking of the Raptors and speaking of Spicy P, who we didn't shit on, but we,
We're concerned.
We're concerned. If you're concerned, not if you're concerned. How do I sell this?
If you
Love
are
Spicy P like we
not
do.
concerned.
Right. Here's the thing. We got a new shirt.
Also, my back just started hurting so much, so that's
My
what
back has been
absolutely
absolutely torqued for the last 3 days.
Yeah, my lower back just started screaming.
I screwed
oh
up.
my god!
I screwed up yesterday. I had back tightness.
Oh,
and then I just didn't get up.
You and Melissa just
she hurt her.
sore.
It's different. There was a difference.
Oh my god, this sucks.
I hurt my hamstring because I was in terrible shape.
Right. Yes.
Melissa hurt her back because she's an active person who pushed it too hard. Big difference. My back was hurting, and then I just sat in my kitchen table for like 6 hours playing Civilization. That didn't help. Weird. Anyway, Merchfeld's back. We got new merch. Pascal Siakam. A Pascal Siakam Christmas collaboration shirt. Commemorate the Raptors Christmas game with a brand new Sportsfeld t-shirt featuring Spicy P. Limited run. Be gone from the store once the clock strikes 2020. Get it now. Sportsfeld.ca. Click on the merch. Podcast you love. Sportsfeld. Have a spicy Christmas. And we're talking...
We're going to get spicy.
We're going to get spicy in a minute here. We got Blue Jays takes coming up in just a moment. Oh boy. The backs are hurting, so it's time to
man, this sucks.
Get some things off your chest here.
I'm going to drink some more beer.
Obviously, the winter meetings move quickly. So they're and very much last week at this time, I said, listen, don't worry about Zach Wheeler because they're not signing Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, almost immediately they didn't.
Before the podcast came out, Zach Wheeler got signed. They're not giving, I'll say this before we get any further. They're not giving anyone 9 figures. No one's making $100 million.
No.
And no one's getting more than 4 years. So forget about those. If you hear of anyone looking for either of those two things, stop thinking about it.
Also, this notion that the payroll is going to be 9 figures, also not true.
They're not getting Ryu either. They're not getting Hyunjin Ryu.
Not.
Forget about that. Forget about that. The path to them getting Ryu was the Dodgers get Cole.
Yes.
The Yankees get nobody. They're like, oh, we don't need a pitcher, I guess.
Or they get Strasburg, who's already signed.
Sure. And then the Angels decide that they want Dallas Keuchel, question mark?
Yeah, I think so.
You have to pretend that all the Bumgarner, sure. There you go.
Yeah.
You have to pretend that all the teams that were in on Cole suddenly don't want the next guy on the list, which is absurd.
Also, the idea that Ryu would take whatever shitty offer the Jays are going to send him.
Yeah, he's not going to.
I can take below my value to.
Blue Jays are not getting Ryu.
I can take below my value to go play for a worse team.
I'd love to be wrong about this, but
there's no chance.
I just don't see any possible. There was about half a day, the first of the winter meetings, there was like half a day where I was like, oh, damn, they're in on Ryu. They're not in on Ryu.
No.
I bet they're offering him $18 million over 3 years. That's my guess.
That sounds right.
When he's going to make 20. He's going to make 20. 100%.
He's going to make more.
He led the NL in ERA last year.
Gerrit Cole just set the market for pitchers.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Ryu is not...
Between Strasburg and Cole, that's like $500 million given out.
Yeah.
Ryu's not that level, obviously, but
he's getting much younger and much better than him.
He's getting... I would say he gets 424 or something like that.
We're talking about a 34-year-old here. But 24... Yeah, I mean, that's... This is the thing, right? And I talked about this on the weekend with some friends.
34? Wow.
Yeah, he's old. He's been around.
Huh.
He pitched in Japan for a long time.
Right.
Or Korea, I forget. Here's the thing, right? It's a tough spot. The Jays are fucking this up pretty bad, but
they truly could, in every conceivable way, not just like the not doing anything with our shitty team,
right?
But like
everything they say,
it's
bad.
It's so bad.
And
flexibility though,
it's a weird spot because, and I was talking about this with a friend of mine over dinner the other day, was like, it's hard to be like, oh, they didn't get fucking Kyle Gibson. But it's like, but it is also like, oh, they got outbid for Kyle Gibson. Yeah. Like, it's tough to have both of those because if they had signed Kyle Gibson, nobody would be excited about it.
No.
But not signing Kyle Gibson is worse.
Yeah, because at least it gives, because even if you sign Kyle Gibson for too much money.
They were competitive on Kyle Gibson.
It's like, if you sign Kyle Gibson and he's Kyle Gibson, then it's just, at least you've put out the idea out there that you are moderately interested in getting better.
Right. Which they keep saying, but
You can't get better by not doing anything. The payroll's going to be like $20 million this year. It's unbelievable.
Looking at, I think they're coming in
at 34 right now or something like that.
It's going to normalize to about 60-ish.
60-ish.
That's just very, very low.
For a team that plays in the fourth biggest market in the continent, that's unreal.
Kudos to you, Jake. You seem to have just sort of spoken Tanner Roark into existence.
Oh, yeah.
Like you sat here and said...
I can't believe anyone thought that wasn't happening.
You said Tanner Roark's name over and over again for weeks. And now every Jays reporter is like, yeah, Tanner Roark.
Yeah.
And it's like, based on what?
Based on he's exactly the kind of like not very good pitcher we're going to get.
They're going to lose out on Kevin Gausman, who's not good. Like they're losing out on guys who aren't good as well, which is really strange. I feel like Alex Wood and Tanner Roark is the...
I feel like Alex Wood is that would be amazing.
Alex Wood was pretty good for a couple of years. They seem to be zeroing in on Josh Lindblom, who's pitching in the KBO the last 5 years.
Yeah. They do seem to be...
Spin rate.
Seem to be doing a lot of like looking at the other leagues for players. And they signed a guy from Twitter. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, I did. I actually DM'd him on Instagram to
really?
get confirmation about that.
Is it true?
It is.
Good thing our scouting team out there following Pitching Ninja.
Yeah, evidently. It's a rough spot. They're in a rough spot.
They're so frustrating. Oh my God.
Also talking about some first base options that may be familiar. Justin Smoke and Edwin Encarnacion.
They're finally going all in.
Bad ideas.
They're finally going all in on 2016.
Man, bringing in, I got to tell you this, bringing back Edwin Encarnacion would be a really bad idea.
Because all the casual fans will just remember him being good, and then when he's
100%.
not good, yeah.
When he strikes out 200 times in the year.
You're right. You're absolutely right. If he signs here, everyone's expecting 35 home runs. And it's not going to happen.
It'd be a really, like the Yankees had to take him out of the lineup in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're fucked.
They're so fucked. And like, there's just no hope. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I was having this discussion the other day with some people, the notion that how long can they do this before they get fired? And the answer is they won't, because they're running the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of it. It's frustrating because, and I saw Gregor from Toronto Star use this collery quite well. The 2014 Chicago Cubs, coming off a 74-win season, signed John Lester.
Right.
Because they said, well, Bryant, Rizzo, Javi Baez, that's good. Look, that's three young stars who are making peanuts. Instead of waiting, let's do this now. Lo and behold.
Yeah.
Both lo and behold.
But I think that the question of like how long...
And you can't sit here and say, oh, the Cubs are a way bigger market team than the Blue Jays.
No.
You could pretend, but that's not true at all.
They are factually not.
If you wanted to just use last year's payroll, Jays had like $100 million to throw around this year.
Yeah.
Which they are not going to do.
No, because they're going to spend 20 of it.
That would be great. I'd love them to spend
collectively, not on one guy.
No, I would love them to spend $20 million on two guys.
I was saying 20 million on like fill up the 40 man, But I do think the question of...
Well, they're making a Rule 5 pick tomorrow. I guarantee you that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that was tomorrow, but
26-man roster? Ooh, baby.
I do think the question of like how long can Shapiro and Atkins do this without consequences is a valid one. Because I think it's a question. My theory is that they can do this in perpetuity because they run a good business, which I have no doubt they do. They don't run a good baseball team. But
it's true.
But we had how many years of Ricciardi before he was gone? Like 9?
Something like that.
7, 8, whatever.
Something like that.
And really, he only got canned because he paid Vernon.
Right. So here we go. I'm glad you brought up Vernon Wells, because Vernon Wells was sort of a guy that I've been thinking about a lot lately, because how quickly in a decade we go from like Vernon was booed because he made so much money.
Vernon's year when he was booed was better than everyone on the team last year.
Right. So we go in a decade, we go from like booing a guy because he makes too much money.
While OPSing over 800.
To, which is fine.
Well, it's 886.
Anyway, but we go from that to like, well, now we're booing that they aren't paying bad players. You see what's happening here? You see what's happening here?
Yeah.
You go, oh man, they're paying Vernon Wells so much. They go, oh, I wish they had paid Kyle Gibson $15 million.
Yeah, okay.
But we grow. People grow. You're allowed to grow and change. I just find that very interesting how it went from like, oh, this guy's ruining the team with how much that he makes. Now they can't do anything.
to
like, oh, I wish they would sign a guy.
Right, but they're not suggesting. But they're not suggesting
crippling.
anyone sign someone to a $172 million contract.
For sure.
None of the contracts anyone's pushing are going to handcuff the team. Or to the point, as you made about the Cubs.
Anyway, they're not getting Ryu.
No, but I don't. I do think the question of how long can they be fucking dog shit and just say nothing until there are consequences. But then it's like, I don't think there will be.
2022.
You think?
Yeah.
You actually think that Rodgers would step in and?
Oh yeah, eventually.
Really?
Well, at a certain point, anybody.
What do they give a shit?
Anybody can not spend money and like doesn't take a skill, right?
I guess.
Doesn't take skill to not sign guys, and you don't need to have somebody in place to do that.
So what do?
You find somebody else.
I'd find a guy.
You found it's a Major League Baseball job. There's only 30 of them. People aren't going to not come.
It's true.
You pay an executive millions of dollars to run a baseball team. Someone will take it.
I just feel like the notion that Shapiro and Atkins will suffer consequences for I don't even know if incompetence is the right word.
Oh, they're doing exactly what they're being paid to do.
This is my point. No, that's exactly my point.
Right.
It's not a Leafs situation where it's like, oh, this team's fucking dog shit. We need to change how the whole thing is run.
Right.
And they brought in Shanahan.
Now, that being said, the Maple Leafs did that very thing for decades.
Yes.
Like, didn't bother competing.
For sure.
Right? This is not the first time someone
No. But you know what I mean.
I do.
The Raptors did it too. They brought in Colangelo. It didn't work. So they brought him aside. I don't see Rodgers having any motivation to be like, this isn't working. Who cares?
Well, at a certain point.
Is it though?
Absolutely. There's still reason to like they still have stuff, right?
Yeah.
They still have guys.
Yes, they do. That's even more to the point.
Right. I'm just saying like
I just feel like they're just these guys, like the fans are mad.
Yeah.
But there's no pressure to like do anything.
Well, they have said that they want to get better soon.
Sure.
So that isn't, but that doesn't come out of like, that comes from a place someone's saying, okay, we do need to see this plan go somewhere.
Or it's just PR speak because they have to say it.
Obviously,
because you can't be like, we're fine with being bad.
Obviously, that's
money.
a huge part of it. But we're going to get to a point here, 2022, where you're a year away from having to actually pay the young core guys. And if something isn't in place by then, even if it doesn't have to be working, at least there has to be at least a vision.
Yeah.
To say,
I agree.
This
I
is
agree
what
with
we're
you.
doing.
I agree with you. I don't think they have to be good for them to matter.
Then the pressure comes on. After like a year from now, winter meetings. If they come out of the year from now winter meetings without much, then they are in trouble for the 2022 season.
Interesting.
Just a guess.
Okay.
I don't think Rodgers is. I agree with you. I don't think Rodgers is crazy upset about what's happening right now.
No, I don't give a shit.
I think, we've seen a lot of talk this week that agents sort of give the old jerk off motion when these guys come and are interested in their players, quote unquote. They go, yeah, sure, because they do the due diligence, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
That's very much, and we're not surprised by that.
No.
But they do also have young talent.
Yep.
This is part of the frustration. It's not like. You don't sit here and go, oh, what can they do? It's like they can sign pitchers.
We talked about this last week. They're like 3 guys away from competing for the wild card.
Yeah, they can just sign 2 good pitchers.
Yeah.
And then
if they sign Ryu and Keuchel, all of a sudden they're sort of an interesting team.
This is another one of the things is like, I don't know if anybody other than Ryu is really any good available.
That's also true.
It's tough. This is the tough. Like we heard yesterday, J.A. Happ's name got floated around.
Yep.
It's like I shouldn't. J.A. Happ was fucking terrible last year.
Like, is Madison Bumgarner even any good anymore?
Like, is J.A. Happ better than Anthony Kay?
Probably, but not.
Maybe this year. Next year, probably not.
And is he like $20 million better?
He's 17. Yeah, $17 million.
Yeah.
But what's $17 million to like for the next 2 years is nothing.
That's true.
I guess, yeah, Ryu is going to make a lot. If J.A. Happ's making 17.
Yeah, Ryu's making 30.
25 seems right. Damn.
Yeah.
They're not getting anybody.
Not happening. No, they're not getting anybody. They're getting fucking Tanner Roark.
And give Tanner Roark $12 million, and they're going to try to get Alex Wood. Maybe they give Josh Lindblom.
Again, if they get Alex Wood.
$9 million over
If they get
years.
Alex Wood on a bell curve, they've done well.
Also terrible. Like these guys were
no, they're not good.
Really bad last year.
Yes.
All the guys left have been between bad and very bad.
As I've been saying, starting DH this year, Lucas Duda.
Travis Shaw, as I called.
Oh, yeah, Travis Shaw. That's right.
I called Travis Shaw.
We'll see.
He averaged 33 home runs 2 years ago.
Travis Shaw seems like a reach.
Travis Shaw is not that good.
No, but it seems like
We're talking about not good players, right?
Yes.
I want to make that perfectly clear.
Yeah.
We're dreaming on bad,
as we've said, though,
bad baseball players.
They're 3 mediocre guys away from at least being watchable.
Right.
Maybe not good, but
like Travis Shaw was worse than Brandon Drury last year. I want to get that across.
was he really?
Yeah, he's worth -1 full win.
Perfect.
They had to send him down for
Oh, then we're absolutely getting him.
50 games. Yeah, absolutely.
Reclamation project.
Sure. And maybe it works.
It won't.
He was a 30 home run guy 3 years in a row. 30 plus. He's like 35 home runs. The mayor of Ding Dong City.
Yeah, I don't like that nickname.
He's not coming. It doesn't really matter.
No.
They're going to bring Smoke back.
They're definitely bringing Smoke back. Oh my God.
Coming back with Smoke, Roark, and I keep saying Alex Wood, but it's probably not even going to happen.
No, Alex Wood's too good for this situation.
The bummer reliever. I feel like that might trade for somebody. I feel
But I feel it'll be a low impact trade.
Yeah, absolutely. But what their avenue may be here. The avenue that I see that's open is bad contracts from bad teams. The Cubs. Speaking of the Cubs, they're tearing it down. They're done.
Yeah, but they won a World Series, so who cares?
They're trying to trade Chris Bryant. They're trying to trade Yu Darvish.
Oh, if only there was an interest from somewhere.
The Pirates just inherited the Blue Jays assistant GM.
They did.
Ben Sherrington and Steve Sanders.
Starling Marte. It's a dream.
That one's tough though because GMs generally don't want to come in and trade prospects they don't know anything about. Right? If you haven't evaluated your own farm system, how can you trade from your own farm system?
Right.
It's a difficult thing to do.
Starling Marte's not in the farm system though. He's just suspended.
No, but you need to reevaluate basically your entire franchise top to bottom.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see a way out of this.
They're so fucked.
Things can happen quickly, but
they're so fucked.
I get the feeling they are coming out of the winter meetings with a Rule 5 pick and nothing else.
Yep. I think that's probably accurate.
Which we are. I mean, we're mid-December, so it's not. Spring training isn't tomorrow. So they have several months, but they're going to play the market like they played the market last time.
They're winning 71 games this year.
That'd be a 5-6 win improvement?
4.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, bad team. And I feel bad. I feel bad for the Bows and the Cavins and the Vladdies because they're going to score runs. Like they scored runs last year. They can't outscore the fact that Wilmer Font starts more games than anybody but Marcus Stroman.
I can't name a single player in the bullpen right now except for Ken Giles.
Do you even say big Ken Giles?
Yeah, other than Ken Giles.
And all the guys they don't have to pay.
Elvis is there still.
He's going to be in single A for sure.
Can he?
Yeah.
I thought his whole thing was that he was out of options.
That was last year. No, he was a Rule 5 pick, so he has to be on this. He had to be on 25 man for the entire year.
Oh, good. So we get another one of those this year.
Yeah. Well, now they have an extra. It's 26 men this year. So they're gonna Rule 5 a reliever again. Keep him in the bullpen.
Perfect.
Standard out of the park stuff. Anyway, that is. There's nowhere to go here but in circles and tell you guys that they're not getting anything and to lower your expectations. Anyway, let's move on. Let's do the mailbag because Maple Leafs. I got nothing to say.
No, they're the Maple Leafs.
Things are back up. They're trending back up. All the things you could like are back to liking. Still in the back goalie.
They're probably going to make the playoffs, and they're good enough that it could be fine.
Bada bing. So we move on. We got mailbag and the music, wrestling, and freaky stuff. After this. Oh boy. We're back.
Hi.
We didn't go anywhere.
No.
So
my back has gone from being in pain to feeling normal.
we're back. Our backs.
I'm sure it'll hurt again in a second because why wouldn't it?
Unquestionably. What else could possibly happen other than slow back injuries? Jake, your song of the week.
My song of the week is...
Brought to you by Columbia House Party.
That was nice.
Thank you.
I like that.
I don't know.
No, that's fine.
Lose my mind today.
Good. Yeah. My song of the week is Ambulance by a band called Battles. I saw them on Saturday. They kicked ass.
You are seeing shows out here. 2
in like 4 days. It was fun because both were, fun.
Okay. Digging deep.
Sort of lost my train of thought there.
Digging deep into the music takes. If you want Jake to actually give you takes.
I had a sentence there. I promise.
Columbia House Party is the show for you.
Yeah.
Jimmy Eat World this week.
Jimmy World this week.
I have no attachment to Jimmy Eat World.
That doesn't surprise me.
Jimmy Eat World is what I would.
Also, your Spotify rap tweet was one of the funniest things I've seen all year.
Every year.
2 hours.
2 hours, yeah. I listened to it front to back. Got it. I was like, yeah, okay, that's the album. I was like, I'll listen again to make sure. I was like, yeah, okay. Listen to this. Let's do it over and over again. Like, what are you missing? What are you missing? And Steve messaged me to thank me.
Of course.
The hilarious part is crushes the second artist by like 100, like 1,000%. No one else came close to 2 hours.
7 minutes was the second artist?
Second artist was my friend Nigel's stand-up album.
Oh, okay. Which is how long? 20 some?
That's an hour, probably. Probably.
Okay, so half. You doubled it.
But like, that's not a musician.
Right. Yeah. That's common. Yeah. They had a spoken word podcast section of it too.
Yes. All my own shows. Listen to
yeah. I mean,
3 podcasts that I do this year.
Match. Oh.
Yeah. Jimmy was always mids to me. I was always like, yeah, just another nameless. I understand that they were bigger impact, but like, I can't remember if one of you said it, but it's sort of, I was very much that type, and this is not going to surprise you, but like I had the bands that I loved, and that's all I ever needed. I love Taking Back Sunday and I love Brand New, and I wasn't like, oh, I wish I had bands that were like this.
Right.
I was like, oh, I have these bands.
You have your 2 bands you like. Who needs more than 2 bands?
I heard, so I knew Sweetness.
Yeah.
How could you not know that song?
It was in a video game.
And the other one,
The Middle.
The Middle.
Which,
that was it.
Inescapable.
That was it. I knew those 2, and I was like, yeah, I get it.
That's fair.
Good show though.
Thank you.
Learning a lot. And then we move on to Weaker then.
Yes.
Which, having read the show notes as a Patreon subscriber,
you're good at this.
Seems interesting.
Yeah. One of my favorite records of all time.
Evidently. Only ever heard the song about Winnipeg while I was in Winnipeg.
That makes sense. But
boy. Yeah, okay. Match of the week.
Oh, man, tall boy for a show.
I know. I tried to mention it. You'd be done the beer by now, but you're only halfway through.
Yeah.
Match of the week. I'm going to talk a little bit about AEW wrestling a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Which I do often.
I like hearing about AEW.
We're past the...
I find it interesting.
Maple Leaf Fest. We're sort of past the honeymoon phase, and now we're starting to see some cracks. It's starting to be like, well, it's difficult.
Oh, really? Interesting.
It's difficult to have a weekly wrestling show. It's not easy. My friends and I, the Sweet Boys, we came up with a great idea for this show because there are a lot of goth characters. There's a lot of like dudes that wear eyeliner and all black and stuff.
Okay.
There's probably like 15 of them. Not 15, that's way too high, but a King of the Goths title is an idea we came up with where all the goth characters fight for the title.
Right.
And the winner of the winner of the King of the Goths gets to control the cult
of the Goths.
Right.
Oh.
So you get interference if you need it. You get somebody to second you to the ring if you need it. Minions to beat down your opponent before a match if you want to. And then you have there's reasons for anyone to challenge for the belt. You could be...
So, sorry, is your match of the week this hypothetical that you've created?
Yes, idea for King of the Goths.
Okay, yeah.
It doesn't fit anywhere else in the show.
No, that's fine.
You could have one of the underling Goths say, I want to lead the Goths. So you have Goth versus Goth infighting.
Yeah.
Right? You could have a hero say it's wrong to have all these guys enslaved by a title. I want to come along and win the title and then free everybody. Because if the title if it ever gets boring, you just, boom, a hero wins.
It does seem like an idea that has a lot of a lot of directions you can take it.
Exactly right. Oh, and then in that hero's chase, right, that can go 2 ways. The hero wins it, and then is then corrupted by the idea of having all this power. And then if it gets boring, the hero wins and dissolves it. And suddenly we have important thing. Sorry, I just got an email. Get a wild email. The King of the Goths title.
I like it.
That's my idea for AEW. Not going to do. Otherwise, another solid week of wrestling. Just that's on every day. You never miss it. And the Wrestle Kingdom card.
It does seem to be on constantly.
Wrestle Kingdom card is out. So a month from now.
That's Japan?
But yes, it's like Japanese WrestleMania sort of.
Oh, okay.
It's 2 nights this year. January 4th and 5th.
2 nights?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wasn't everyone complaining about WrestleMania being too long?
Yeah. The rest wrestling, you complain about a thing and then you get more of it. And you go, okay. Okay. We go to the middle. Oh yeah, sorry. Jake, it's your turn.
Yeah, I gotta freak you out.
Please.
Okay. So when you die, it is said. This has obviously never been confirmed.
Right.
Because it can't be.
Colton Burpo.
What?
Heaven is for real. The kid.
Oh man, that's right. I forgot about that. Anyway, when you die, allegedly.
Who was a liar, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course he was a liar. The last thing to go is your hearing.
Okay.
So, stands to reason.
Yeah.
that
for a little bit
you're dying, or for all intents and purposes dead.
Right.
But you can still hear the last little bit of your life.
Can I process what I'm hearing?
I don't know.
It makes me uneasy.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I don't. This one comes to us, care of resident Does This Freak You Out person, my fiance.
Of course.
And she sent me 2, and I read them both. And this one just kind of made me feel icky.
That's really weird.
Yeah. I don't even know what it is about it.
So all the other parts of my body are basically shut down except my ears.
Correct. I do not know whether like your brain is still active so you can process.
Right.
I have no idea.
But it is going in your ears and
like it's yeah. Right?
yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it sucks.
I got a shiver there.
I don't know why it makes me so uneasy.
How long?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know it's the last one.
Sort of freaks you out about like whispering to a corpse sort of stuff.
Yeah. Of your 5 senses, it's the last one to go. That's what the thing is.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, at least my fucking back won't hurt though.
All right. We have some questions in the
This is
mailbag.
an awake show today.
It's been tough.
We're tired.
We're struggling. It's weary. It's winter weariness.
Yeah.
We're being worn on today.
Call it that.
We go to the mailbag. Gerrit Swan asks us, which sport outside of the big 4 do you think you could fake your way through a conversation? I will say this.
I guess we're not counting like any of the sports people actually like rugby or soccer. Or
right.
whatever.
That's the thing, right? Is
the internet has made it like any of them.
And working as somebody that has had to make sports highlights or has
Yeah.
had to write sports blogs or has had to edit
As somebody who wrote,
copy.
I once wrote a live blog of speed walking. So
This is a good question, but and this is not bragging. It's just the fact of the matter is I could fake my way through almost every conversation about sports.
yeah, maybe not cricket because I genuinely don't understand it.
But I would need like if I knew I was going to have the conversation.
Oh yeah,
Easy. Like the Wolfpack, for example, able to go from having no idea what was going on to
Same.
interviewing players in the span of a day.
Yeah, I watched one game and I was like, oh, okay.
Stood on the sidelines right before the grand final. Stood on the sidelines with the coach, shot the shit, talked to players, talked to other reporters about the team.
And like, it's so access to things are so widespread now. Like, if we're talking outside the big 4, like tennis, you could easily do,
Right.
Or car racing. Like, I feel like that. I see where you're going with this question.
Yes.
I feel like it would have to be like, what sport that's not like.
Okay. So I think we have to disqualify ones we know a little bit about. I think my answer to this is probably racing then, because I don't really know anything about it.
I feel like I know. I think I know enough about it to disqualify from the question,
Right.
for these purposes.
Any conversation I would have is me faking my way through it
Yeah,
about like F1 or NASCAR or whatever.
I feel like dressage.
Sure, there you go. That's a good one.
I don't know if I could.
Could you fake your way through it?
No, because I don't get it.
I think I could. And you know what?
Figure skating, actually, if we're talking like sports that people actually watch,
Yeah.
figure skating, I don't understand.
I'll give you a tip from an industry pro here. The key to faking your way through the conversations is to just ask questions.
Well, yes,
Don't be the answerer. Be the asker.
and they'll think you're nice because
I'm nodding along and taking interest in you.
yeah.
Did Miss Henley ask us what in-arena song, a jock jam if you will, would you like to see banished forever? Since I like to pretend to be on the show, I will never understand why anybody plays Sweet Caroline anyway. Do squids really need to say ba 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 that badly?
Yeah, Sweet Caroline's a good one.
Squids. My man loves to say squids.
Sweet Caroline's a good one, actually.
It is a good one. Because it's not really like
It's not even a jock jam. It's just
And it's one of those
Stop.
ones that like Boston clearly owns this. Don't play it.
yeah.
Like the Red Sox, it's their
The
thing.
Leafs were doing it for a bit. It's like no,
What are you doing?
stop. Get your own.
That's a good one. Sweet
That's
Caroline's a good
Sweet Caroline's a
one.
really good answer. Like I am on record of being in. I will say
Let's hear it.
the Blue Jays have been bad ever since they stopped playing more than or hooked on a field.
Wow. Yeah. Something else it coincided with the Blue Jays being bad, but the feeling definitely counts as well. I think I might like Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, like my gut reaction was to do like Rock and Roll Part 2, but like
Doesn't really get played anymore.
and it's also so right because I think he's in jail.
Right. That was I was like, Gary Litter probably shouldn't be getting played anywhere. Ever.
Yeah,
I was going to say interesting. I'm going through these, like, I feel like the jock jams of our youth is sort of phased out. Like you don't hear,
absolutely true.
you don't hear "We Will Rock You" anymore.
It's all you hear. Sometimes you hear like the clap,
yeah,
but you don't. They used to hear the song.
yeah. Jays games still hear the fucking.
Yeah,
They're playing
my
that
God.
same.
That was soundbite from
never
1988.
Never mind. Mark Spiro promised a new sound system this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they upgraded the
I heard the upgrades are being pushed back, though.
the stadium upgrades. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
But the sound system is being upgraded.
Oh, perfect.
And a new head athletic trader.
Oh.
Jose Minstrel. So there you go. Team's making tons of moves.
But you're right. It's all just like top 40 now. Like they don't. The idea of jock jams don't exist as it once did.
My take for this, and I'm going to sound like a crotchety old man, I would get rid of all of the off-field entertainment. Like,
oh God, yeah.
I would start with just baseball games.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
I like a halftime show of a basketball game.
Sure, and it makes sense to play like basketball is cool. It makes sense to do that stuff.
Yeah,
baseball should be leaning into
we're boring and old.
This is what we are. We are an experience of being out. The buzz in the stadium is baseball.
The only off-field entertainment should be dated, shitty graphics on the jumbotron, like it was
seventh inning stretch.
Yeah, and like the airplane race with crowd cheering.
Right,
like shit like that is fine. But
I get rid of all the in-game hosts. I get rid of all the dancing.
Absolutely,
there's no need for any of that.
Why
in baseball.
do Blue Jays don't need a DJ?
Who's it for? Kids don't give a shit.
No. Hashtag you and you'll put you on the jumbo. No one gives a shit.
It would be
You're putting us on the jumbotron anyway.
It'd be totally refreshing to not have any of that in a baseball game.
I agree.
Anyway, that's my old man take.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
Andrew Robertson. Someone mentioned recently Gerrit Cole is getting paid about $9,000 every time he throws a baseball. What would you choose to be paid to do over and over again for $9,000 each time? I would do
anything.
Just about anything.
Anything.
I'm pretty pathetic.
Yeah.
Pretty pathetic.
But I don't even think that's pathetic.
Capitalism. I would do.
He's making $324 million. That's not pathetic to be like, oh, can I make that for doing whatever? It'd be pathetic if it was like $1. If you're like, I'd do anything for $1. For $9,000 a time, anything.
Yeah. $9,000 is a lot.
For like 9 months rent to do one thing.
$9,000 is not a small fee.
Sorry to make that question shitty, but
no.
Like it's just anything.
100% right. It's pretty low bar. For me. What
we've discussed, as we've discussed in the show before, we don't have integrity.
Yeah, like the fact that I could make my like yearly salary in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
depressing. 2 big drinks. That's what you get out of that one. Akmedo, what are the power rankings?
Put it this way.
Yeah,
I make a lot less money to do other things over and over again. So the answer that I'm being paid to do for real, and it's way less than 9,000.
Right.
So anything. Akmedo, sorry.
Akmedo asks us, in the nachos power rankings, where do nachos Flanders style rank?
Flanders style cucumber with the
cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese. I mean,
I gotta say,
I'd eat that.
As a 9-year-old, the stupidest thing you could possibly offer me. At 34,
It's
not nachos, but that's not a bad.
I would never like be like, oh, I want nachos. Let's have them Flanders style.
Yeah,
but
if you said for a snack we're having cucumbers with cream cheese on them, I'd eat that.
Yeah. Also,
or cottage cheese. Pardon.
Either way,
I love cottage cheese.
I was gonna say cottage cheese. I feel like has this reputation for not being good. Untrue.
I eat it. I would eat it.
Cottage cheese.
We don't have it in our house because most doesn't like it. I would eat it. I used to when I was a kid. I eat it out of the container with a spoon.
Yeah, me too. I remember when I was in not even when I was in university. When I was single, I was like, I'm gonna be healthy. So for snacks, instead of like food, like fried food or whatever, I'll get fruit and cottage cheese. Cottage cheese did not last. It stopped being healthy because I was like, I'm just gonna eat the whole tub of cottage cheese.
Okay.
Cottage cheese is great.
Here's a good one.
I'm gonna buy some cottage cheese.
Me too. I'm talking myself into it.
Yeah.
Nick Healy asks us, could you win a fight one-on-one? I know.
No.
Against a sun bear.
What?
Note, this is the smallest species of bear. The average size is about 5 feet tall, about 170 pounds. Hand-to-hand combat, no weapons. It's this thing.
Sorry, is this...
No chance.
Is this phrased as...
There's no chance I would beat this thing. Look at its hands.
No, okay. Let's ignore what it looks like for a second.
5 feet tall, 170 pounds.
Yeah, let's ignore what it looks like for a second. Are we basing this idea that we could potentially fight one because it's the smallest bear?
Yeah. But
the smallest bear is 5 inches shorter than me? Like, it's not small.
And it has knife hands. That's the thing that people always
It weighs more and is not that much shorter than me.
Yeah.
It would murder me.
It's the thing people, I think, underrate when they talk about beating up bears. It's like they have knife hands.
And feet.
Yeah.
Some bears can climb trees.
And you know,
I think
most animals in the animal kingdom, they don't like slack off, right?
Yeah, there's no load management.
Almost entirely muscle. Whole life is just eating and sleeping.
They're literally predators. Their job is to fight and kill things.
I would need to have a reason to fight this bear because I don't like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The bear doesn't need to be hyped.
And even then, like,
The bear's like, oh, I'm killing this dude.
it's not even a reason. It's like even if I had a reason,
Right.
I'm not going to win that fight.
Yeah. No chance. Anybody saying they would is fucking not even, you're lying to yourself.
You're thinking that you're really tough and cool, but like you're just going to get murdered by a bear.
There are humans that are 5 feet tall, 120 pounds that would kill me.
Yeah.
Forget a fucking bear.
I'm 5'5". Like a 5-foot person could easily beat me up.
Yeah. And there's no reasoning with a bear. There's no.
No, it's a bear. They don't have cognitive thought. It's just kill.
Yeah.
Murder you.
The addition here is that it's hand to hand, no weapons. I have no chance. Need a weapon.
Its hands are weapons.
Yeah,
the thing.
I would need a weapon.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But like, if it's hand to hand, no weapons, that then cut off its hands.
Because like, what's my strategy is what punching it. Like, there's no chance. The head is so.
As I'm saying it,
Yeah.
if you cut off that bear's hands,
Yeah.
it would still beat me in a fight.
Yeah. There's no like. I have no winning strategy. I can't choke it out. I'm never gonna punch it enough.
Well, because you can't choke. You're never gonna get behind it to like
Right.
get around it. No, you die.
Anyway. Also, I have a bad back, so.
My back hurts so much. I need everyone to realize how much my back hurts and how hard this is for me.
Preach, brother. Which would you rather? Only sleep 4 hours per day or only need to eat once a day? Your health and productivity stay the same.
Say that one more time.
Would you rather only have to sleep 4 hours per day to feel fully rested or only need to eat once a day?
Oh, sleep, obviously.
You want more day.
Yeah. You only sleep 4 hours a day and you feel rest. I sleep like 7 hours a day and I don't feel fully rested.
Eating's fun.
Eating
is good to me.
I also sometimes only eat one meal a day anyway.
Right, but it's sort of like your one meal is enough for you to be a healthy adult.
Well, it's sleep. You get a 20-hour. You know what you get done? You get a 20-hour day.
Newsflash, I get about the same amount.
No, you could play more of the video game.
True. Yeah, it's the longer day.
Yeah.
I love sleeping and I love eating. These are both things that I would not want to do less of anyway.
Yes, which I think is the point of the question.
Right. I see. Good question. Good job.
But I feel like there's so many days, especially during the week, where I only eat once a day anyway.
Yeah.
That that's just kind of the norm for me.
Just forgetting to eat. Amen.
Yeah.
Boy. Last one. You get to choose one alcoholic drink that you are allowed to drink at all your holiday-related gatherings. There's no limit on how much you can drink, but you can't switch it to a different drink for the whole month. What drink do you choose? It's from Sean Woodley.
Is this our opportunity to talk about how we're very sophisticated bourbon men?
I think it'd be a yuzu pale ale
from Radical Road.
I
mean, it would definitely be a beer.
I think
I assume for this question we're talking like a specific, but you can't just say beer and then you get all the variants of beer.
It's all holiday long.
So it's one specific beer.
Every holiday thing you go to.
Do you get like drunk still?
Yeah, you just can't drink any. It's just your only drink all holiday long. That's all.
Oh, then you know what? I don't know.
I think it's probably.
I was gonna say you want something light because then you're not full.
Yeah, I think like a whiskey and soda maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say like gin and soda.
Whiskey and soda, yeah.
Gin and soda with some lime.
It's sort of Christmassy. Whiskey soda.
Yeah.
Gin tastes like pine trees.
Have I told the story about how I almost died from carbs at Cassie's first Christmas? What that was there for? Have I told that on this? I know I've told you. Have I told that on the show?
I don't know that you have. Go for it.
Yeah, we got time. So the first Christmas I spent.
It's our show.
Yeah. First Christmas I spent with Cassie's family. Made the mistake of telling her dad that I really like Guinness.
I do remember this story.
Which he took as like, would you like 100 of them?
Right.
Cassie's family also does Russian Christmas on Christmas Eve.
Right.
So the food is only starch.
Because they're severe.
And carbs. It's just there's like 4 kinds of pierogies. Delicious, but not what you want after a whole day of Guinness and cheese.
Yes.
That night, I was so full after the meal that I like felt not even sick. Like I felt like I was dying. We then watched the Black Mirror episode where
that's bad news.
Domhnall Gleeson dies and is brought back as a robot.
Okay.
And it gave me a panic attack over death. So I spent Christmas Eve for the first time at my now fiance's house. So full, I thought I was going to die whilst having a panic attack about death.
Happy holidays.
So the answer is something light, is my point.
Yeah, I think that's where my whiskey soda comes in.
Yeah, because you're eating
not a lot to it.
Because you're eating all day,
and you can drink it slow if you want to.
Yeah.
Melissa's family very very similar. I love Melissa's mom. she has this way. I think it's maybe it's the Portuguese or it's just the old style. Like every meal is 4 meals, right?
Of course.
It's not, you don't go in there, you have.
First course is 3 courses.
Right. There's 4 main dishes and you're like, what am I supposed to do here?
Yeah.
I love it.
It's great. But again,
what you're supposed to do is eat to excess.
I hope that Portuguese, like the Russian Christmas though, is like, it's that, but every dish is in the same family. So it's like, there's 4 kinds of pierogies. Now here's another thing called something, I forget what it's called, that isn't a pierogi, but is a dumpling. Boy. So it's just like.
Love dumplings.
Thick starch. It's like eating a ball of starch. It's delicious and it just makes you want to die.
And all Portuguese desserts are what if bread was actually candy. Sweet rice, sweet bread.
Right.
They add sugar to regular food. It's amazing. We got one at the buzzer here. Connor W. In the age of cell phones, how many phone numbers do you actually know off by heart? 3.
2. I know my dad's cell phone.
Yeah.
I know my parents' old house phone that no longer works.
Okay, so that counts.
I know the house number of my best friend from high school who doesn't live at that house anymore. And I don't think his family lives at that house anymore. So that number probably doesn't work. If the question is how many phone numbers that work, then I know, I think the answer is 1.
Right.
I think it's my dad's cell phone.
They have to be current phone numbers.
I think the answer is 1.
I know.
And the only reason I know my dad's cell phone number is because he had the same one for like 20 years.
Yeah. As well, I only know 2. And it's my parents' houses.
Yeah. I don't know Cassie's.
Including that. I know my own as well, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But it's in my mom's house, my dad's house.
You don't know Melissa's? Because I don't know Cassie's, so that makes me feel better.
With the way modern technology is, you needed to know that number once in your life.
Yes.
You need to know it long enough to get it
put in your phone. Yeah.
You could, like, honest to God, and I obviously we're engaged to these women. I could not even give you one number of that cell phone.
I'm sure. I mean, I
couldn't even know the area code.
I could give you one number just because there's only 9 options.
Right. I don't know if she's a 647 or a 416. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah, you're right.
No idea.
I'm gonna wager Cassie is 647 because she only moved to Toronto like 6 years ago.
Also, we almost never text. Like if she's texting me.
See, that's the thing.
She's texting
Cassie
me,
and I text all the time. I see the phone number every day.
She's texting me. There's an
no
emergency.
idea. I want to say there's a 0 maybe in
Probably.
Cassie's.
Anyway, we could do this all day.
Yeah.
That's it for the mailbag. Closed it up. We got nothing to do but answer the question of how we're feeling after this. We took the break to look at our girlfriend's phone numbers.
Yeah.
Fiance's phone numbers.
Fiance's. Literally marrying them within the year.
Dating a couple 647 girls. I don't even know what that means. We are on one today.
We really are. You should go
loose.
first because I don't answer yet.
It's loose. I'm going to go with the sad. The business, man.
Hate the business.
Rough day.
That sucks.
Saw some good friends and some good employees and some coworkers. The biz. What can you say?
Yeah.
Shit happens, man. It's fucking awful.
Yeah.
Frankly.
I mean, like, it's just the capitalistic version of life goes on.
Yeah. And obviously I don't want to say too much.
No.
For both my own sake and for the sakes of those who were unfortunately given some terrible news today. Much worse news than I. But it's just fucking brutal.
It sucks ass.
Just fucking brutal. Like it just fucking sucks.
It's crazy to me that like this is not unique to just this situation. It's all the times this happens.
Right.
That's just like a wave of the hand and like 10 people just like lose their livelihoods. It's wild that's possible. That's wild.
100%.
What a world that we're just like fine with.
And
there's no any other fucking choice.
Yeah, exactly right. Is we're fine with it, and it is met with a collective shrug.
Yeah,
you go, that's a biz.
Well, because what can you do?
And then you get to tweet about it, and everyone says, "Oh, sorry to hear that."
Sad. Manual RT sad.
Manual RT, and they go hire this person.
Yeah.
Which, listen, that comes from a great place, and is a.
I was going to say
wonderful sentiment.
I was going to say it's the bare minimum you can do, but it's also kind of all you can do.
100%. And I don't know, man. Sucks ass. Bums me out. Makes me sad. So that is why I am sad, because that shit makes me sad as fuck.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Jake, are you sad or not sad?
I'm going not sad. Pick us up here a little bit.
Please do.
I was talking a couple weeks ago. This is also like, obviously everyone we just talked about pales in comparison in importance. This is not important at all. We were talking a couple weeks ago about I went to see a band and they were on Too Late. And I didn't like that. I really felt my age. I went to 2 shows in the last 4 days. I haven't done that in a really long time.
Boy.
And it just felt nice to like, I didn't really, this year has been like the least amount of shows I've seen in more than a decade. And it was just kind of nice to get back into it. I really like live music. And also I figured out how to make my earplugs work so my ears hurt less.
There we go.
I had bought earplugs and I was like, I can't really hear the band. And so I don't like them. Turns out you don't put them all the way into your ears like headphones.
Huh.
You just kind of let them rest in there and block the sound.
That makes sense.
That's what I just learned. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, nothing important.
We lost our minds slowly but surely over the course of this episode.
I'm really tired. So here's the other thing. I did go to a show last night. No, I'm exhausted.
I got great news for you. You're not leaving this room for a long time.
No, I know.
We want to thank Radical Road Brewery.
Yeah.
This week's beer, Yuzu Pale Ale, which we both drink in excess all the time.
Yeah, I literally drink it at least once a week.
5% rich hops, low bitterness, Japanese yuzu fruit. We drank them throughout the course of the show. And
what was it? Frosty fruitiness?
It was a spritzy tropical flavors. Once again, that brew pub, Queen and Jones, radicalroadbrew.com for more information. You can get it at the LCBO fucking anywhere. These things are everywhere. And the reason for that, because they're very, very good as well. New merch, the Pascal Siakam Christmas tee, Spicy Christmas. We got Kawhi Leonard's in town. Show him up by buying a new Pascal Siakam shirt.
Yeah.
He won't care. But we will.
No, Kawhi cares about our merch.
That's right. Limited run t-shirt.
Oh, we didn't talk about the billboards. Oh.
Limited run t-shirt. Only on until 2020. So you have limited time to get it, but it's a really cool shirt. We've had some great artists make these shirts. Sportsfeld.ca, click on the merch tab, get your Pascal Siakam spicy t-shirt. Trying to go too fast here.
Pascal CM.
Pascal CM. Boy, Jake. That was the episode.
We sure did it.
We sure did it. Lots and lots of thank yous to give out.
Really crawled by.
As always, we got to thank Dylan for doing all the real work. We got to thank Sean and Clay for giving us the platform. We got to thank the intern in the box for listening to the show and staying sane.
Yeah.
Somehow. And we thank you all very much for listening to Sportsfeld.
Sportsfeld!